Good afternoon, Ancient Warrior here. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, and I had a long night last night, so we're going to talk about the fantasies that people have about food preps. First fantasy is well, if things go south, if the scat hits the fan, I'll just go hunting and fishing. I did that as a kid. Really? You're gonna go hunt and fish? Let me explain something with the fallacy of that idea. I live in a town of almost 200,000 people. Let's say a tornado walks through the middle of this town, devastating 95% of the town. Now, you think this is kind of fictitious? I want you guys to think about something. It's exactly what did happen at Joplin, Missouri a few years ago. It wiped almost a complete town out. I think the name of the town in Kansas was Greenburg. Was totally wiped off the map. Guys, if you're not using the skills needed today, if you're not getting your skills honed, you can kiss going out into the field and getting a rabbit or a squirrel. Cats and dogs will be the first thing that disappear. You think you're going to get you a deer? Cattle rustling will be the major way of feeding families. And there will be protectors out on horseback or on motorcycles protecting cattle herds. The second fantasy. This is kind of a show and tell. My family has a bunch of these survival tabs. We're going to use them, and we will survive. That little bucket I just showed you, folks, is a 2-week supply of survival tabs. Great idea. Up to a point. And I'm going to do more videos on this stuff. So I'm just going to kind of hit it, scatter over it a little bit so that you have an idea. Those were designed originally for Air Force pilots, air crews who got downed in unfriendly situations. Now, they're great. They taste like malted balls. Those of you that know what I'm talking about. But they have a major drawback. Next video, we're going to discuss the major drawback. Then you've got the crowd who says, hey, I got 3 cases of these. I got 3 cases of these and I'm good. Well, good to hear that you got 3 cases. They have a 5-year lifespan. These are apple cinnamon. Most of them I've come across are coconut. And most of them are decent tasting. Now this brand, UST, I think is who makes these. They were manufactured July 6 of 16, and they go out. Their expiration date is July of 21. These things weigh 1 pound. Now, these are, let me see what, okay, each serving is 1 bar. These are 2,400 calories. That's, if each bar's got 2,400 calories and you got 6 bars, you got 6 days worth of food right here. But again, remember I mentioned something about drawbacks? Yep. Same drawback that the survival tabs have. Guy at my church also was talking about wanting to do this. Folks, MREs. Now the MRE is an actual military food for troops in the field. Great idea. But here's a problem with them. You know, I know a lot of young Marines, and met a kid last night from 10th Mountain. And I always try to get the conversation to go around to how these MREs affect people. Guys, the MREs affect people in different ways. But there's a pattern across the board with MREs. Now that MRE that I just showed you weighs approximately 2 pounds. Approximately weighs 2 pounds. Sorry, I'm in the car and it's a hot day. I don't know how many of those you'd want to carry if you had to go cross country with a backpack on. And they have a major drawback too that we're going to discuss in the video that will be MREs. The second thing is, yeah, there it is, vegetable beef. This is a freeze-dried meal. As you can see, it makes 8 servings, a half a gallon, which is quite a bit. And its calorie content, it's got 110 calories. It's got 22 grams of carbs in it. Now, if you're actually out there in the field in full panic mode, that may not be the best thing, and the MRE may be the better idea. But if you're somewhere where you can, you know, little hot water and 15 minutes down the road you can eat, great idea. Most freeze-drieds are that way. See, freeze-drieds back in the 50s were originally designed to be what MREs are today. But the drawback was you couldn't eat them on the run. You always had to have water to reconstitute it. So they went with different ideas. They went with stuff like, I laugh. In the late 50s, early 60s, they went with what they called the NASA food. It was going to be designed for astronauts. Drawback was it still required water to reconstitute. At that time, the military was still using C rations and K rations. And the problem was they were in cans. Some of that stuff was in cans. Even today, you watch soldiers who are going into the field, they do what they call a field strip of their MREs. They put the stuff in they need, and everything else they can't use hits the trash can. Now, I want to point this out to you. The one thing I haven't showed you is if you go to the grocery store, go to Kroger's or A&P or Safeway or United or Walmart, wherever you're living at, Albertsons. Truthfully, going to a grocery store is your better buy. One of the things I'm going to show you how to do is put together an MRE that will be filling and also give you enough energy to be able to do, 8, 9, 10 hours worth of moving. And if your stomach's full, it helps your stress level go down. I don't know, the brain is kind of a odd little creature anyway. But, excuse me. But from there, my next video will be covering the survival tabs. And we'll discuss their downfall, their problems that they create. Okay? Well, with that said and done, I hope you had a good 4th of July. I hope nobody blew off any fingers. See, I got all mine. All of mine. Both eyes. So it means I didn't blow me up. And I didn't burn anything down. So, folks, have a good week. And I will give you another video in the next few days. I'll try to have the food bars and the survival tabs each, and then we'll talk pros and cons about both of them. If you're living in Europe, I noticed the other day when I was looking at the analytics that I get a lot of views from over in Europe. You guys have a lot of things going for you over there. You can get stuff that we have a hard time getting in this country. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we was discussing, what if situations. And I said, what's the one thing you're going to miss more than anything? And he looked at me and he said, cheeseburgers. And I said, cheeseburgers? And he said, yeah. And I said, is it the meat or the cheese? And he said, the cheese. See, in this country, we used to can cheese. We used to can butter. but for some reason they quit doing it in this country. Thank God New Zealand has not stopped that, because I'm able to get, I found a couple of suppliers here in the U.S. that have the, it's either Australian or New Zealand canned butter, the Belga cheese, and the red feather butter. Now it's pricey. I'm telling you, it's pricey, guys. But it's worth having in your stores. At least one case. During the winter, sometimes I pop it open, pop a can open, slice it down, a little Spam on a pilot cracker, and that's a meal for me. But that's some of the things that, we need to discuss later. So have a blessed day, and welcome back to Free America. Have a good day.